Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech, and in this video I will be unboxing the Redmi 7A and giving you a quick hands-on review. So this is currently the cheapest phone from Redmi or Xiaomi, and right now this phone is sold exclusively online on Flipkart and mi.com, and you can also find it in Mi stores, and soon it will be sold in the offline markets as well. Now this phone is available in two variants. Base variant is priced at 6,000 rupees for 2GB of RAM and 16GB of storage, and the next variant is priced at just 6,200 rupees for 2GB of RAM and 32GB of storage. Now that's the variants. Now with this launch, Xiaomi has been boasting a lot about their budget phones like this Redmi 4A, Redmi 5A, 6A and finally the 7A. And according to those stats, Redmi 5A and 6A have been the best selling phones all around the world for the past 2 years. And with this Redmi 7A, they boast about 65% of all the components that goes into this phone are actually made in India. So that's all the buzz surrounding this cheapest phone. So without any further delays, let's just get on with the unboxing. So guys, this is the box, and the packaging has been changed from the previous Redmi A series phones. I mean the 6A or the 5A. It looks slightly different and probably in a good way. So this is the box, and on the top they say about #1 brand in India, and here's the phone's name. On the right side and the left side as well we get the same name, that's the Redmi 7A. On the back, once again, we have the most highlighting features, which I'll be talking in a minute. By the way, this is the matte black color with 2GB of RAM and 16GB of storage. Now, without any further delays, let me just unbox it. So here we go, and that's it. First, we have a cardboard box with SIM card ejector probably. So here's the SIM card ejector, some documentation, no case inside the box. Next, we have the phone itself. Let me just put that aside. Next, we have a 5W power adapter. This is 5 volts at 1 amp. That's 5 watts. And finally, we have the micro USB charging cable. So guys, these are all the contents of the box. Now let me just put everything aside and come back to the phone. So here's the phone, and on the back side we have a sticker with IMEI numbers and SIM card information. Let me just peel that off. So this is how the phone looks on the back, and this is how it looks on the front. Well, once again we have a sticker with the same highlighting features, processor, battery, camera and the full screen display. So this is how the phone looks on the front without any screen guard. So guys, now let's have a quick physical overview. This phone has a complete plastic build, so obviously the back panel is made of plastic. It has a nice matte finish to it. It doesn't look cheap at all. Now at the top we have the primary camera followed by a single LED flash, and it says AI camera, and at the bottom it says Redmi, designed by Xiaomi. Now on the front we have a pretty big display with the 18:9 aspect ratio. Above the display you get the front facing camera, earpiece and some sensors. Below the display it's completely plain with Redmi branding. Now the chin to this display is pretty huge, big enough to have capacitor buttons as well. So it's just a wastage of space. Now for the sides, on the right side we have the power and volume buttons made of plastic. They have a nice clicky feel to them and they are sufficiently elevated. Now at the top we have the 3.5mm audio jack followed by the secondary microphone for noise cancellation, which is great to see in a phone in this price segment. On the left side you get a SIM card tray housing 2 nano SIM slots along with a dedicated SD card slot. Finally at the bottom we have 2 speaker grills with a micro USB charging port at the center. On the left side we probably have a microphone, and on the right side we have the speaker. This phone has a thickness of 9.55mm and weighs 165 grams. Now initial impressions in hand, phone feels pretty bulky and thick and has a nice weight to it. It's neither too heavy nor light, it just has a nice bit of weight to it. So that's pretty good. Now for the rest of the specifications, this phone sports a 5.45-inch IPS display with HD plus resolution with 18:9 aspect ratio. On the rear it has a 12MP camera with f2.2 aperture, and on the front you get a 5MP selfie camera. Under the hood this phone sports a Snapdragon 439 processor with Adreno 505 GPU. Powering all this is a 4000 mAh battery. Now this phone also supports dual SIM with dual 4G and dual VoLTE. Now let's look at some of the highlights of this phone. This phone sports a Snapdragon 439 processor, which is the first processor built using the 12nm FinFET process. It also comes with a 4000 mAh battery, which is 33% larger than the last year's Redmi 6A. Now for the rear camera, it has a 12MP camera with Sony IMX486 sensor. By the way, this is the same camera seen on Mi A2 and the Redmi Note 7. So the rear camera on this phone is gonna be great. This phone also comes with splash proof nano coating, which makes your phone a bit more secure. It even has wireless FM radio. And most importantly, this phone comes with 2 years of warranty, unlike any other phone in this price segment or unlike any other Redmi or Xiaomi phone. So that's a pretty great thing. So guys, now let me turn on the phone and set it up and come back to you in a minute. So guys, this is how the phone looks once we turn it on and set it up. This is your default launcher. As usual, there is no app drawer, so all the apps are thrown to the home screen. If you really want an app drawer, you can definitely check out Poco Launcher, that's also from Xiaomi, which looks pretty good. Now these are all the apps that come pre-installed and there is a bit of bloatware, so you can uninstall any of these applications that you don't intend to use. Now this is the recent tabs page. These are all your applications and you can swipe them to the right side to kill them. And if you want to open any application in split screen mode, you need to press and hold them and click this button to open split screen mode. Now this is the notification area. These are your notification toggles. And this is the new UI that you get whenever you press the volume buttons. So this is the big volume slider. And if you click this button over here, you get extra options. Now this is the settings page. So guys, that was the user interface. And right out of the box, out of that 2 GB of RAM, we get about 1.1 GB of RAM free. So that's pretty good. And if we go to storage section, out of that 16 GB of space, you get about 8 GB of space for your user apps and user data. Now that's very little and I would definitely recommend you to get the 32 GB variant as the price difference is pretty small. Now let's go check out the about section. So this phone is running MIUI version 10.0 based on Android version 9, that's Android Pie, with the June security patch. So that's pretty good. Now here's the camera interface, and this phone also has auto HDR, so that's pretty cool. So this is the photo mode. On the right side we have the Pro mode with manual control. So once again, that's pretty rare to see in a budget phone. Next we have video recording, and let's check out the resolution. So we can record video in 1080p resolution at 30 fps. And there is no electronic image stabilization on this phone, so that's kind of bad. Next we can record short video. Now this is the interface for the front camera, and initial impressions, it looks kind of okay. Usually phones in this price segment or regular Redmi phones don't have good selfie camera unless it's a Y series phone or a flagship kind of a phone like Note 7 Pro. So this is the camera interface, and these are some sample pictures that I've taken. Now this phone doesn't have a fingerprint scanner, but it does come with face unlock feature, and I've already set it up. So let's test it out. Now this is like good lighting condition, and as you can see, face unlock is working pretty quickly. It's not super fast, but it's usable. It's definitely usable because this phone doesn't even has the fingerprint scanner. So in good lighting conditions, it is pretty fast. Now let's check it in low lighting conditions. And surprisingly, even in low lighting conditions, it is working pretty well. So guys, that was face unlock. Now let's test the speaker loudness. So guys, speaker loudness on this phone is sufficient for media consumption, ringtones and alarms. Now let's test FM radio. Now this phone supposedly comes with a wireless FM radio, so it is supposed to work without any audio jack, and as you can see, it works. So guys, as you have just seen, without inserting a headset, we were able to use radio. So that's one of the most unique features about this phone. So guys, this is the Redmi 7A. Now with this phone, Xiaomi seems to be taking a step back, and instead of giving something like a dot notch or something else, they went with a regular old design with bigger bezels all around. But they've improved a lot of things internally, like they've given a better Qualcomm processor, 4000 mAh battery, and as I've said earlier, the rear camera is the same that we have seen on the Mi A2 and the Redmi Note 7. So the rear camera performance is also pretty good. So what do you think about this phone? Do you think this can give a tough competition to the Realme C2, Coolpad Cool 3 Plus, or other phones from Tecno and Infinix which are offering similar stuff under 7,000 rupees? Do let me know by commenting below this video, and if you're planning to buy this phone, Use the link in the description, it always helps the channel. If you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.